Morning, David Gonzalez.
Good morning. Wow, welcome everybody. My name is David, like you heard, and it's just my job to keep things moving along this morning. So before we do that, in just a few minutes, you're going to have one of our local diamonds, maybe just explaining the weekend and how it all works. Before we welcome him on, hello Raj, before we welcome him up, there's just a few people that we'd like to acknowledge. First of all, we're doing, for those of you who are in the room, might be aware, might not be aware, we're doing a kind of a hybrid system. So there are people in the room. Welcome, good to have you here. And this is a wonderful thing to have because for a while, of course, you know, we didn't have that. And then we're streaming as well. We're streaming live to, this stream is currently available in 36 countries. And I just want to say a hi to all of those people and missing not having you here, including some countries going through some challenges, Turkey and Ukraine. We're streaming to those countries as well. So really amazing for Network 201 for doing that. So before we get our local diamond up here, I want to maybe just welcome some people in the room. And oh man, I need my glasses. It's not because there's anything wrong with my eyes, but Network 21 has printed everything so small because I don't know, clearly somebody must have found a sea turtle with ink around its neck somewhere and now we're spearing on ink. I think that's maybe why. So does it make me look clever? No, not even that can do it. So I just really want to welcome the leadership. So when you hear your opponent, I'd like for you to just to stand where you're sitting. We'd like to welcome our platinums. Where are our platinums? Stand up. Founders platinums. Executive platinums. Rubies. Sapphires. Emeralds. Founders emeralds. Let's give them a hand. These are the people who've driven the business all along. And it's just great to be with you in a room again. Thank you very much. And then, of course, individually, I mean, when I saw the lineup for this weekend, I thought, this is insane. I don't know when last we've had a lineup of speakers like we've had, like we have for this weekend. So for those of you in the room, for those of you watching online, what a lineup. You know, every weekend seminar has like a theme, or, you know, they kind of have a little a theme for the weekend seminar. The theme for this one should have been, what? You serious? Because we're just going to welcome people in the room. First of all, Diamond from Johannesburg, Ruth Greef. Diamonds from Namibia, Quibus and Ruth Hamilton. Diamonds from Johannesburg, Martin and Tracy Hutchins. Diamond from Johannesburg, Justin Stern. Our executive diamonds, Sean Henderson. Ren and Colin van Rensburg. Founders Executive Diamonds, Basil and Leonie Harris. Double Diamonds, Alois Sucha and his daughter Petra. Trevor Lowe and Kate Lowe from the UK. Double diamond all the way from Australia, Glenda, Leonard. Oh, but wait, there's more. Founders Crown Ambassador, he'll be joining us a bit later, Hans Nussold from Europe. Founders Crown Ambassadors, Mitch and Deirdre Sala. And then the Founders Crown Ambassador, founder of Network 21, Nancy Dornan Burnfield and John Burnfield. Wow. So, on to our first speaker for this morning. First up will be Martin Hutchins, diamond from Johannesburg. Martin, for those of you who haven't met him, has a background. He and his wife, Tracy, built a massive conventional business, but really were not living the lifestyle that they wanted. So on top of conventional success, they built their business to diamond. Martin's agreed to address us quickly for 10 minutes. So diamond from Joburg, Martin Hutchins.
Southern Africa! Hello to the world. What an awesome moment. Streaming to the rest of the world in Network 21. Unbelievable. Isn't the world changing? What an epic weekend this is. I mean, I think David's done such a fantastic job at just introducing our speakers. I'm totally in awe because we've been around the business for many, many years. And where have you ever got into a room where you've got this amount of wisdom in one room ever? Unbelievable. We've just had the privilege of coming back from Australia. We did 2 weekends in Australia, and I can tell you, I know two of the speakers on today, Mitch and Deirdre and Glenda, and what an awesome job they've done. So you're in for a special treat around the world and here, really special. But maybe what I want to do is just give you a bit of perspective of what's going to happen, how the business is going to fall in, what's happening today, where it fits in. You know, our business is 4 pillars. There's 4 pillars to this business. And the first pillar, and I always love to say, you know, I don't work for anybody, nobody works for me or anything. We are just so privileged to have these partners in pillars. And the first pillar that we're going to look at, and you're going to hear from today, is the Amway Corporation. And what a privilege. You know, I don't think people realize who we've got in the room until you get bigger in this business and you start understanding that you've got the general manager of Europe who's going to address us. It is such a privilege having Melody here to give us insight. And just for you South Africans who don't know, because I don't think a lot of South Africans realize how phenomenal South Africa really is having Raj. Raj is now running, or I don't know his official title, but I certainly know that he's working in New Zealand, Australia, and he's running South Africa. What an unbelievable, and I think we can, thank you, Raj. And so we're going to hear from Amway. We're going to hear a lot about where we're going, where they're going. But I think the second pillar, and that's the most important pillar for me, because I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't through them, and that's Network 21. And you know, just having Nancy Dornan here, Nancy is unique in this business. I mean, the founder of Network 21, and what they've done around the world, the lives they've changed, and putting together this unique leadership, the Crown Ambassadors and they're around the world and using it. I don't know if anybody realizes having Nancy here where she is just a privilege, and she will change lives herself, just listening to Nancy. But if I can take it one step further, where we're really privileged is Network 21 has a CEO around the world, like any organization. And nobody's really introduced him. And the CEO of Network 21 from the world, Jeff Nuber, is sitting in the room with his wife, Shannon. I think we can give Jeff an unbelievable round of applause. So the third pillar I'm not going to really talk about, because the third pillar is the team, but the fourth pillar is the most important one for yourself. If you're sitting here, you're here for you. This is about you. This is about your life. When I come to a function like this, and what I would love to do is just maybe give you a bit of perspective. So you could be brand new. I'm just going to give you my perspective when I came to my first weekend seminar, because I came along looking for a vehicle that could give us what we were looking for. And you know, if you're sitting here, it is about your vehicle. And I'll never forget, because those who know Tracy know that, and she'll always tell you, Tracy did not want to do this business. So our first weekend seminar, I had my wife, what do they call it, a ball and chain. I had her and I was dragging her along. She had crossed eyes, crossed leg, she was just cross. That was the bottom line. And then I was there. My leadership style is observation. So I'm coming to a function like this to observe it. So I just sat down, big ears and all, and I sat there, and there's the reason why I got these ears, don't worry. Maybe I'll just tell you. I was at the pearly gates one day, and St. Peter was asking who wanted 2 large ones. I thought he was offering beers, but they were ears. So I took them. So I was sitting there observing, and then there was this guy, I don't know what you want to call him, up and down next to me. That side of Tracy, so I've got Tracy there. I'm really in the zone looking. So I'm a choleric, so I'm focused. This guy's going up and down. I was just saying, can't you just sit up, sit down, just do one thing? So if you're going to sit next to, you're going to have people like that today. They're going to be sitting there. There's new people, there's old people, there's people who've come to re-energize. So you're going to have all that. So we had all this going on. And then this morning I was just thinking to myself, you know, you don't know the person next to you. You don't know what's going to happen. But you just got to get along with it. I mean, it reminded me of the story. We walk out on our patio every day. And I walked out with Tracy on last week, and we were standing there, and the neighbor gives his wife a kiss every day. He kisses her goodbye. And she said to me, geez, Martin, why don't you do that? I looked at her, I said, don't be silly, honey. I don't even know her. So you might not know the person you're sitting next to. Trust me, by the end of today, you'll know them. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get on and we're going to start. You're going to hear speakers, incredible speakers. You're going to hear so many topics. What I loved about this is you can take home from this weekend, you can take home from the speakers and apply it to your life. You can apply it to your business, and you can then apply it to this business. You're just going to have to make a decision. You're going to hear health. I mean, it reminded me of a story Tracy told me. I mean, we were at Health Point. It was the Irish doctor, the Irishman who went to the doctor. He wanted to lose weight. And the doctor said to him, listen, I want you to have this diet, skip a day, eat this, skip a day, eat this, skip a day. 2 weeks later, he went back and the doc said to him, geez, you've lost 8 kilos. That's incredible. You must have stuck to the diet. He says, no, doctor, I think it's all that skipping. So you're going to get so much out of this weekend. It's very, very unique. But if you're sitting here, you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to take responsibility for yourself. You know, we're all at different stages in life. And I can tell you, after COVID, life is a roller coaster, up, down. It's all right to be down. It's all right to have a place in your life. But it's not all right to stay down. It's not all right. You've got to come sometime and take responsibility and say, where are we going? You know, I can tell you that it's only through a weekend seminar that we had defining moments that's changed the history of our family. And that's what's so unique about this environment. It's going to change. It will give you, if you sit around this environment enough, and if you take it in, and if you're online, I'm going to urge you not to get up when the speakers are speaking. Mitch gave such a brilliant example last night. If you don't write anything, write just action steps. Action steps that you can take for your life, because that's what this is about. So you can apply what you want to. You can make the decision, because I can tell you, we made every major decision, not only about this business, but about our life at weekends like this. Because it's the environment. This environment is unique. Monday morning, you're out in the real world again, and people will tell you that you can't. And remember, if you listen to other people, it's their limiting beliefs that will hold you back. So you've got to know that you're in the right environment, right time, and you're going to have the right information from the right amount of speakers. We're going to have 3 sessions over the course of the weekend. There is an optional worship service tomorrow as well. And then for all those people in the room only, sorry internationals, we're going to have an interview with Aliwa this afternoon. Unbelievable. I can't wait. I mean, he is such an unbelievable gentleman, and his daughter is such a sanguine, but wow, you can just feel from the heart what a family man he is, and how important his family is. You know, and I love that, because I think that's the key. And what you will notice about the speakers is every one of them have got unbelievable heart. They come here, they're pouring out. They did not need to be here. Certainly, the speakers we got, they did not need to be here. And you will understand that they've come here to make a difference because they want to, not because they have to. And I think that is something unique. So, I know I haven't got much time, so I just want to maybe tell a story. I love this story because I believe that this is what the speakers will do. It reminds me there was a Michelin chef, and his daughter was struggling in life, and he just said to her, she went into the kitchen with him, and he said, listen, honey, life is you're going to have to take responsibility. What you want, where's your dreams? And he said there was 3 boiling pots. And in front of the first one was potatoes, second one was eggs, and the third one was coffee beans. And he just said to her, okay, let's put them in the water and we're going to observe it. Half an hour later, he said, so what have you noticed? So she pulled the potatoes out. She said the potatoes got soft. She says, the water changed the potatoes, made it soft. He said, that's good observation. Second one, he said, she took the egg out. The water changed the egg, made it hard. And he said, what happened? The water's changed the environment. And the third one, coffee beans. The coffee beans changed the water. And he said, I want to teach you the biggest lesson in life. Do you want to be in an environment where people change you, or do you want to be in an environment where you can change people? The choice is yours. So by the end of this weekend seminar, I think you will have such a bigger vision and a bigger understanding of what can happen for you, your life, your family. And I'm going to urge you just one thing. Please, if you're sitting in this room, if you're online, make sure you're at the next one, because life is tough. And all Tracy and myself did, all we did was we promised our sponsor, we promised the person who invested time in us that we'd make sure we did 2 of these in a 4-month period, because then, only then, could we decide would this be good enough for our family and us. So all the best. Can't wait to hear the speakers, and let's give a big round of applause for each and every one of you.
Nice, Martin. Thank you, Martin. So we're running a draw for this session as well. So for those of you who have purchased your ticket to the July weekend conference, so you don't even need to leave the room. You're not going to miss any of the seminar. You're just going to walk to those domes at the back of the room there, and you can purchase your ticket. So there'll be a draw done electronically before the end of the session. So my suggestion would be go down there, run, don't walk. Get your ticket for the July conference. Commit yourself to this next while. And so what we'll do before the session ends today is there'll be a draw. And the prize is an additional ticket. So you could definitely double your luck if you just do that. So our next speaker is a double diamond. And this lady has got an amazing track record. So her background is in the world of fashion and travel, and just has always been interested in, so much around her. And she used this business vehicle to create freedom. And what she's done has been remarkable, because not only has she been free and been able to travel to her heart's content for decades, but perhaps more significantly is she's been able to be very instrumental in helping many, many, many other significant leaders up to that same kind of a lifestyle. So without delaying any of her speaker time, please welcome from Australia, double diamond, Glenda, Leonard.
Well, good morning. Good morning, all of you, and good morning, all of the world, for goodness sake. Wow, what a thrill to be here. What a moment in time this is, hey? And I was thinking about today and what I'd share. The word came to me this morning. The word was celebration. Celebration that we're here. Celebration that we have this amazing business. Celebration that we have each other. Celebration that we have history, and celebration we have a future. And I was here in South Africa when your market opened in August 1997. I was much younger back then. But you know, guys, life happens, hey? And I've got this very deep philosophy that I try to live by every day, to remember how important this day is. We all have a very special date. That is our birthday. And there's another date that we don't know what it's going to be. That's the day we go home. But between our birthday and then it's called the dash. And we're all living the dash, right? We're all living the dash. And when I was thinking about South Africa this morning, and I was thinking about that date back then when we had that first weekend seminar here, as so many first weekends happened right around the world, and I've been privileged to be at many of them. What an amazing job you guys have done here. You know, we came to South Africa, all of us from all around the world, to bring you the business. The handful of products. Do you remember how little products there were? 11 products. But you know what we all said? Everybody said the same thing. The best kept secret about South Africa is the people. You're amazing. You are amazing. You're amazing. And what you've done with this business is amazing. Your leadership here has taught the world. They've taken this thing and they've run with it and they've made success happen. And that's the history. But the future is, what are you going to do? What are you going to do right now? I think we need to also be celebrating that the world has been through what it's been through. We don't want to celebrate that. We want to celebrate coming out of it, because we are out of it. Do you know, we've just had weekends in Sydney and in Queensland and Australia. And before the weekend started, we got the feeling the tide has turned. We're sick of it, aren't we? We're sick of not having what we want. In fact, I think what's happened is that every person wants to claim their life with more deliberateness than ever. This is not a rehearsal, it's a final take. It's called our life. And wherever you are on the dash, it's the most important part you can be in, because it's where you are. And your past has nothing to do with your future. Nothing. We can control and change our stars if we realize what we've got in our hands. I cannot tell you how grateful I am to be here, and my sponsor is here. We have Nancy Dornan in the room. How amazing is that? Wow. How amazing is that? And my heroes, my friends, we've done life together. I wish for you a dash which is filled with fabulous people and worthy ideals and doing things that you want to do. You know, it's not an accident that you're in the room. This is not an accident that you're here and that you're listening. It's very, very important that you realize, although you're going to hear a lot about the Amway business, which, by the way, is worth talking about. Well over 60 years of history, the largest business of its type in the world. Guys, do not waste your time trying to work out, is this business going to be okay? It's going to work with or without you or me. And it is working. And not only has it been phenomenal over 60 years of history, it's also COVID-proof. Come on, guys. This is an amazing business. It's an amazing business. The products are incredible. I've got your catalogue here, and in every country there's a catalogue with all these extraordinary products. Every page represents an entire business, and we have all this at our disposal. A business looks after all the administration, pays our bonuses on time, and keeps putting more money in the plan. So if you want to work hard, you can have the money. This is not a lightweight business. This is a business. And I say this to you, if you don't understand how the money's made, you need to take the time to understand it. There's a bonus scale from 3% to 21%. It's like an apprenticeship for the profession called networking. You will build a big life if you build a big business. You might want a little business, you might want a big business, it's up to you. But as I speak today, and as the speakers speak today, you're going to take notes, I know. But remember that the most important notes you take is what you say to yourself. You know, I suggest you get a piece of paper for you. And on this piece of paper, write things that matter to you. Why are you here? Oh, I would love to look in your eyes and just ask you, what's important to you? Because, see, this is a big crowd of people. And out there, as you're watching online, I know you're not just a face. You're a whole story. Everybody has a backstory. Everybody has a life. Everybody has things that matter to them. What's important to you? What do you want more of? Is it more time with your kids? Is it more money to help somebody that you love? Is it more confidence? More hope? More money to buy that beautiful home or travel the world? What's important to you? You know what's important to you. Take the time to write it down. This is your life. And what I've discovered in my life, having gone through my history that I have as I built this business, that this business creates real wealth. And what is wealth? I've got to tell you, right back then when I started the business and I was so broke, wealth was only one thing. What was it? It was money, exactly. When you haven't got it, it's all you think about. But you know what I've discovered over the time of my dash so far? This business produces real wealth. What does that mean to you? Is health wealth? Did you hear about the richest man that died recently? Do you know what he left? Everything. How important is our health? And how amazing that we have a business that has the most extraordinary health products that can keep us healthy. It's called preventative sickness. The #1 brand of organically grown vitamin supplements in the world. The #1, there's only number one, and that's Nutrilite. That's our business. But is wealth also having great memories with great people that you love? Is it having worthy ideals? Is it wanting to contribute to the community? Is it doing great things with family and friends? Is it having freedom? What is wealth? This business can produce so much more than what you first see. So much more. And I want to give that to you as a thought process. Guys, when I first saw this business, I was young. That was the good bit. I was broke. That was the bad bit. And just a little bit of my case study. When I joined the business, someone wrote to me about it. They got me to a weekend conference. How many of you are here for your first weekend conference? Can I have you stand? Please stand. Please stand, all of you. This is so fabulous. Wow, look at you all. Fantastic. Oh, welcome. And you know what, those of you that are sitting, this is your first weekend conference for the rest of your life. It's time to turn the page, guys. This is a new beginning. It's a new celebration of possibilities. You're here not by accident, but by design. You're investing your time. Put value on yourself. You are so important. Your life matters. But my first weekend conference, I sat there and I was amazed at what I heard. I was so excited because I thought, wow, I don't have to be a victim of circumstances. This business can change my circumstances. This business can set me free. Wow, I was so excited. Don't remember much with what I heard that weekend, except that there was a way without huge investment. I could just put my energy into something. I could actually learn to become successful. And I've been in business and failed, and so to learn how to be successful, I had no money left. In fact, I had a huge debt. That was a big deal for me. And they said to be a great leader, you had to be a great follower. And if you could think like successful people think, you could have what successful people had. And I thought, well, I can do that. I can learn. And I remember being so excited after my first weekend. And then the journey began. They said, I need to talk to people about this business. And I remember standing on the bus with my very dear friend. And I'm standing on the bus and I'm strap hanging because it was a very crowded bus. And I had a great excitement for the future, but I had stinking thinking from the past. And I said to her, this is the pits, I hate this. And she said, Glenda, this is temporary. You have a way to change your life. And I want to say that to you. Whatever you're going through, this is temporary. And I realized from that moment that I used that like a mantra. I looked at my funny old car, it's only temporary. I'm going to get a new car. You know, I couldn't afford the bond on a flat. I was so broke. I had to get a job before I could afford to get myself into a flat. When I came back to Sydney, I'd worked really hard to go broke in my business. It wasn't that I was lazy, it's just that I wasn't successful. And I had a chip on my shoulder like you can't believe. Why did this happen to me? It's called plum disease. Poor little old me. Some of you know what that feels like. It's only temporary. But that started me on a process of change of how I thought. What we think about, we speak about. What we speak about comes about. We all come into this business with our baggage. Some of you don't have baggage. Some of you are fantastic already. I certainly was not fantastic. Life does its stuff to our self-talk. And no matter how excited you are, you need to prepare yourself mentally for where you're going. It's called affirmations. It's called understanding how the mind works. It's a whole topic, which I've had to take a lot of time studying. But you need to understand that you could be helped with this. And the audios and the books, wow, they became so important to me. It was like drinking from a fountain of something so exciting. It was another whole world. Because where my world came from, people with money were from another planet. I had never seen money in my family. So we got started. I got started. And I got another job. That was good. I got a job as a manager of an art gallery, raised that on my business card. I thought it was very important. And I really, really thought I was working hard. I spoke to a lot of people, and I got a handful of people in the business. And I came home one night from my job, and there it was, my bonus check. Now, in those days, we used to get paid by checks. 6%. I don't know what it is in Rand, but it's $33.60 in Australia. And I looked at this little bonus check, and I thought, I've spent so much more money than I've made. I mean, I've been going out to these meetings, I've been showing people this business, I've been reading these books, I've been hearing these audios. $33.60. But fortunately, I'd read a book called The Magic of Thinking Big before this business. I think some of you have attracted the business. I think I attracted the business. I didn't know that I did. You see, when I first saw this business, I didn't want it at all, because I looked through the filter of what I had in my background, which was fashion and art and beauty and travel. I didn't relate to this sort of business, and none of us relate to this business when we first see it. I didn't want this, but I wondered what it could do for me. Anyone relate to that? Who saw this business the first time they saw it? They thought, this is for me. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Who thought that? Well, that's absolutely nobody. So how come we're in the room? What happens? You see, it's a courtship. And you've got to remember that too when you're talking to people. It's a courtship. People need time to actually evaluate and understand what's on offer here. Fabulous products with a money-back guarantee. No risk. A business that's proven. No risk. You can climb a ladder against a wall that's going to keep standing. How incredible is that idea? Why wouldn't you do this? Because you don't understand it. And that's what everybody else feels. So we've got a job to do, and that's, of course, to get people to see what we have in our hands here. This business is not driven by the product. It's driven by the people that want to have a life, and that would be you and me. So I looked at this list that I'd written down in the goal-setting exercise in Chapter 12 of The Magic of Thinking Big. And it said, think of your life 10 years from now. I suggest you do this. It's very hard to think of your life 12 months from now because you're affected by what you already have. But 10 years from now, I thought I'm going to be ancient 10 years from now. Now I think I was so young, my goodness. But I've written down things like, I want to be free. I want to wake up when I finish sleeping. I want to design my life and design my day. I wanted to travel the world. Oh, so much wanted to travel. I wanted to see things through the eyes of freedom. I wanted to help my mum. She needed help financially. I wanted to walk the beach in the middle of the week when nobody else was there. And I looked at this bonus check and I looked at this list of what I wanted, and I thought to myself, I've been in this position before. How many of you ever started something and you haven't finished it? Study course. Yeah, exactly. You know what? This is a very good room. It's full of people that can be diamonds. Because that was me. How many times have I started something, thought I want this, and then it gets hard or it doesn't, it's not fun anymore, so I think, oh, no, I don't want this anymore. And I thought, this I'm not going to give up on. Guys, listen to me well. If you're going to get good at something that pays well. Nothing will pay you like this business. You just get good at it. So I'm going to tell you a story that I listened to on an audio years ago, a story by my special Nancy Dornan. You see, the good life is the enemy of the great life, and all of us, no matter how hard it is, we live a pretty good life some of the time. Most of the time we can do okay. And Nancy told a story on this particular audio, and it really, really affected me. You see, there's always turning points. A turning point with me was that 6% business. I could so easily have quit. Anyway, if I had done it, I would have been just another person that could say, I was in that once and it didn't work. And if I had time, I'd tell you what was in that 6% business. You'd be stunned how many diamonds have come out of that 6% business. But you see, the seeds go in the ground when you share this idea. But when you harvest the seeds is when you stand the test of time. And people say they don't like delayed gratification. You see, at $33.60, you build this business, you build the greatest asset you have, you build you. You see, you have to be strong if you want something big. Anybody can do something for a few dollars for an hour's worth of pay. But if you hang in there, you can become wealthy. You can become strong, you can become empowered. And if you take your ambition and you combine it with the fabulous knowledge that Network 21 gives us, what you'll have. Am I not clicking? There we go. Oh no, we're not doing that just yet. What you'll have is a Network 21 system, which is just amazing. And the Network 21 system will give you the audios, it'll give you the knowledge, it'll give you the understanding of exactly how this business can work. Now, in this talk, Nancy had said about it was a fictional story about this guy that had died and gone to heaven. And he was having a tour of heaven. And he was led around all these different places, and it was amazing. And then he was led into this room, and this room was so beautiful. There was joy and laughter and celebration and amazing objects in this room, and music and fun and such joy. And he said, where am I? What is this room? And the guy said to him, this is the room we have of all your dreams that we have prepared for you, but you've given up on those dreams, so you never got them. And I vowed there and then, as I sat on the side of the road hearing this audio, I was not going to live my life with regrets of what I wanted that I didn't have. I was going to stay firm. And then she talked in the same talk about the guy that died and went to hell. And he was given a tour, wasn't anywhere near as much fun where he was. And he was taken into this room, and it was a very ugly black room and had all these strange objects. And in these objects, he looked at one in particular. He said, what is that horrible looking thing? What is this room? And his guide said, this is the room where we have all the tools, where we steal people's dreams, where we take away their desire for their dreams. And that horrible, horrible object, that one always gets them. This is called discouragement. Wow, what is discouragement? Think about what it can be. It's only ever a thought, guys. It's a thought. And I want to say this to you, that when you think a thought, you're thinking with what you currently have in your head. It's like we have a lid on our head. We have a lid. We can only think with what we can think with, right? But when you open your mind to receive, and you let the audios come in, and you let the books come in, and you take the privilege of counselling that this system allows, where you can get help. And while I'm talking about counselling, who's actually caring about you anyway out there in the big wide world? What an amazing privilege that we have in Network 21, people that care about you and want you to have the best. It's an incredible privilege. So I kept on going, and I've discovered that discouragement, if you want to overcome discouragement, yes, listen, yes, read, less counsel, but get back into action. I find that the greatest way to overcome discouragement is to sponsor some more people. And you got to get up one more time. Just keep getting up, guys. This business is not talent-based, it's skill-based. You can learn your lines and you can do the work. The work is easy. when you know why. And so I went diamond. I'm going to share with you a little tiny, very old clip. You'll know it's old by the hair, of when I went diamond. I just want you to see just how interesting it can be when you get your dream. So here we go. If it works. Can we make it work? It'll work. There we go. It's very old, you can tell.
I just love my life these days. No longer do I have to work for anybody else. I wake up in the morning when I finish sleeping. I have the choice of walking on this wonderful beach or reading a book or building my business. Nobody pulls my strings anymore now. No longer I have to sit in those terrible traffic queues, rushing to fulfill somebody else's timetable. The lifestyle makes all the initial investment of effort totally worthwhile. I'm free.
Yay. And the hair is big, and the face is young, and the life is very, very good. Whatever it takes, guys, just get it done. It's not beautiful on the way through, but it sure is gorgeous when you get there. And I just want to say to you that if I can, sure can, anybody can. I just want to share another slide with you, which is a very old picture. We go away, there's going to be photographs taken this weekend. You're going to take photographs in groups. This is a little cross-line group of girls in their 20s and 30s. Things come into our business for a reason, or into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Let me tell you what history is on this little picture. This is one of the first achievement holidays we went to back there in the dark ages. But you know what? They were dark, they were fun. Never apologize what age you are. Be grateful that you're here. I'm having to tell myself that every day when I look in the mirror. So let me tell you who's there. I'm in the pink, in case you didn't recognize me. Next to me on your left, no, on your right, next to me on your right is my friend Ushi Suter. Now Ushi is Swiss, and she had a vision to have an international business. And she said, one day my business is going to span the globe. And she told this to everybody that she ever met in her business. And one of her downlines spoke to this young, gorgeous ski instructor couple who are in Australia from Austria for the ski season. And he sponsored a couple. And Ushi worked with that couple. And that couple's name is Hans and Eva Nusshold. Wow. And you're going to hear from Hans. And then on the other side of me, in the black top, is the beautiful Deirdre Sala. Now, so Ushi has a Crown Ambassador downline. Deirdre and Mitch Sala have become one of the most incredible partnerships in this entire world as founders, Crown Ambassadors, global business, amazing, amazing. And then the girl in the white, in her early 20s, in this photograph, is Triple Diamond Angie Summers, front line to me. And Angie has many, 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 many amazing people in her business, including Crown Ambassador Peter Cox, who of course has sponsored Melissa Gabriel, who sponsored Ben and Janie Physic, and of course so many, many amazing people in Europe that are coming through her business. Now, when us girls stood together, excited to be on holiday, new in the business, did we know that we were going to be in this business for a lifetime? Do you know what you've got ahead of you? No, you don't. You have no idea what wonderful things you have ahead of you. Do not underestimate the power of your decision to do this business. You will touch people that you don't even know. There's people that only you can talk to. There's people that have no idea at all what this can do for them unless you share it with them. I said you to write down what you want on this piece of paper. And I'm going to end with this, because this is the most important thing I'm going to share. If on this piece of paper, you've written the dreams and goals for your family, think of your children one by one, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews, your mum and dad, your sisters, what would you do for them if money was not an object? Think of the people you want to help. Think of that beautiful home you want to live in, and the people that you want to have around you, and the holidays you want to take. Think of a life of no regrets, and it's on this piece of paper. Can you visualize it here? Can you see this could be your dream list? Can you see it? Would you hand this piece of paper to a total stranger and say, here, take my life, take it. Your opinion of me is more important than my opinion of myself. Would you do that? Would you? Now, my friends, listen to me very carefully, because you will be tested. You'll have to think about your thinking. You'll have to decide not to be hung by the tongue and learn about affirmations. You'll have to get up when you get down. When you're discouraged, you're going to have to get over that discouragement, because that's life. There's a lot of stuff that happens on our dash. Get up one more time. But the most important thing you have to be careful of is what people say to you. If you wouldn't hand them your future, don't listen to their comments, because this is what they're going to do. Your sister, your brother, your friend, what? Are you doing that Amway thing? Do you mean to say you think you're going to be able to make that work? I knew someone who was in that once. They didn't do any good at all. What makes you think that you can have a better life? Do you know where you come from? Why can't you just be content with what you got? You having your kids babysat again? They say, and then you say, I just thought he was going to be my first platinum and he quit. Maybe I can't do this. What happens to our dream? They say, you say, I say, get your dream. You get your dream. You realize how important you are. There's only one of you. And you put your dream somewhere very safe where no one can get to it. And you don't let anyone steal your dream. Don't let anyone steal your dream. This business is not on trial. You can do it. This is the weekend of celebration of what will be. The rest is the best. We ain't seen nothing yet. The biggest leaders have not been found. The greatest businesses have not been built. We are just beginning. Are you with me? Are we ready? Well, let's rise up and make it happen. You can do it, guys. Love being with you. Thank you.